But today I'm going to basically go over the way I've been trading with supply and demand, support resistance zones, especially start with ES and see what happened today. And just showing you how I chart it, basics of charting support and resistance, supply and demand, and trying to make your best decisions on what to do at open and what to do during the day. So we'll just start on ES. I erased everything I had. What I like to do is start from the 1 hour. And the main thing I'm looking for, yes, I'll actually start 30-minute. I like to start a smaller time frame because we're doing more scalps. So I'm looking for is a price balance and a price imbalance. So right here, click on my, right here is your price imbalance, just one straight downward, straight selling. Into chat, we'll just do options chat. If you guys got questions, options chat would be good. But we just have, this is your price imbalance, and then you're gonna have your price balance above it and below it. So the market overall wants to balance out volume. It's just better for the market, better for everything, better for the economy. So eventually this price balance is going to be bought back into it so that this all selling volume can actually be balanced out to have buying and selling volume, so it's not all just straight selling right here, especially on futures, SPY, QQQ. So what I'm looking for mainly is this green candle right before a huge sell-off. So what I do is take the open of the candle to the top of where it's at. I like to flip between certain times and try to find a nice, like right there, a nice kind of doji basing candle, and then a huge red engulfing. So I'm actually, if you really want to get really, just we would go with that. I'm going to actually do them both to see how it looks. So go back to 30-minute. Right there. And we have this 45-minute. I'll just make it darker. Just make it look like that for now. And then previously, I'm still going back. I'm looking for, go back to 30-minute. Looking for another big sell-off. So right here is another big sell-off. So we do have a price balance right here. You can tell where we came down, we sold off, and we slowly creeped up. And as soon as we hit this, what we do? We sold off super hard. So I'm just going back basically on every 30-minute, trying to find really big sell-offs, kind of price balances. Sell-offs. Color doesn't matter. I flipped back before colors. I'm just looking for big sell-offs. Do kind of the open of the red basing candle and the top of where it began. On the downside, what we're looking for is kind of a pivot. Like right here, we go down, we pivot back up. This is going to be a price balance. What I'm looking for is a red, kind of red doji candle, and then a huge green push. We'll go to the bottom of it. And then we have a price imbalance, and then we have a price balance here, and then a price imbalance up. So this would be another one right here. So the reasoning behind this is where prices balance right here, so they agree on price, and then like I guess sellers come in and sell off. But unfortunately, not all the selling orders got sold. So when it comes back in, all the rest of the selling orders are going to be sold off. And it comes back in, sell off. But the main thing is you're just looking for where the price comes up and like kind of pivots, where sellers don't want it up here, bring it down up here. So like yesterday was a good example of what price balance and imbalance, like right here. Basically, chop is balance. Like we chopped all day yesterday, so that's gonna be your price balance. This huge push up is gonna be your imbalance. So this is where buyers won. This is where they fought. This is where buyers won. You can tell how we went into today, which today started. Open was right here. We'll do like a weird. So open was right there. So we came in to ES today, which I didn't notice. I didn't really prep today as much. I was just super shocked with Google and all the earnings. But we came into 9 o'clock. You can tell we touched it once, sold off, touched it again, another sell off. So once we opened right here, kind of came back to a little bit and we sold off. So we opened up into a sell zone. We came back in. We started to consolidate. If I go down frame, we started to consolidate. So we're trying to make a new demand zone here, but unfortunately after hours we fell. So it's not the best time to go long here. Wasn't the best time to go long here. What I'm looking for is for it to come back down into where another price imbalance is. I'll start on 30. We'll try to find out where it went there. We probably have to go lower time frames to actually find where we bounced here. Yeah. I mean, when we're making a move up, they're starting their short positions anyways. But the main thing is like when we come back to this zone is they say there's open, liquidity. There's open buys right here. This is where this whale wants to buy at 536, 36 every single time. He bought it here, drove the price up. So when we eventually get back to here, he's probably gonna buy again and drive the price up. Eventually one side wins. I thought we'd push end of day because we tapped once, twice, 3, 4, and we consolidate in it for the 5th time. But of course, we're coming back down right here. ES is definitely different. I'll show a little better on different stocks, but ES is like you gotta drop down to sometimes 3 minute, 2 minute to actually find like where we actually bounce. But right here, I think it's 5 minute, because we're kind of bouncing. We're kind of coming back in right now. So what my main thing is when I play SPY is I'm waiting for it to start selling off and get close to here and see if we could have another push off here. So we're just ping ponging back and forth. That's what we've kind of been doing, just ping ponging back and forth. Yesterday was, super, super choppy, and that's all we did. We just ping pong. We just did back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. So you're looking for the sell orders to come in here with volume, come down, push it down. Apple, this is what we've been doing with Apple. We have, I believe, a 30 minute, maybe an hour. Bring it right down there. Hour, red candle, find the bottom, huge green push. and we're just bouncing between these two zones. So when you're up here, you want to look for little selling volume coming in, and hopefully it'll push down. That's when you want to get into it. Bounce perfectly right there, midday bounce. Google today kind of got weird. Right here we had a huge push up on earnings. Huge price imbalance. We're probably going to eventually come down, and what I like to do is mark 50%. See if we could fill in 50% of that volume. So right here on Google, should I find one? So right on Google, this is 30-minute. Right at open, overnight session, yeah, it's kind of slow, kind of low volume, but you can still use opening candles because this is technically right before open, so I'd like to use that right there. So Google, what we do, we came down, came back up, touched this zone, this huge sell-off from Google selling off at open, pushed right back up, and we basically bounced right there and sold right off again. On the downside, on the upside, I had to go down to right here, the 10-minute. So we had a huge price imbalance, balance, and kind of like a price imbalance all the way up. Right here. So what the best possibility to get into it long would you want it to come back down to where we pushed, we balanced out, and then we pushed again. And that right there was that double bounce, double bottom, especially with Nessie turned on. Nessie was right around there too, but that's a different story. But that was the best time to get into Google when we bounced out of that zone. Best time to short Google was right here when we came back up to this price imbalance. So we're just expecting, when we have an initial sell-off like that, we're just expecting if we do get back into that zone, that we're going to sell off again. We'll go to, try to find, so we get Tesla. So we'll just go through Tesla. We had this huge sell-off right here, and we came back up, we consolidated into a day, and today we eventually sold off. But when we consolidate like that, we could possibly go either way, consolidation, but you want to wait for it to kind of break under. You could have shorted it right here, because at open, technically we opened into a sell zone. You could have shorted it down. On the downside, I like to see Google, Tesla get to here for a possible long. I don't really want to mess with it, so I guess on here. So right now we're just kind of ping-ponging back and forth. You want to definitely take your longs here, definitely take your shorts here. Go through Affirm the other day. This helps with news, like if stocks go with Affirm. Yeah, right here, you definitely want it to consolidate in here. You want this zone to become like, this is a supply zone. I always mess up supply and demand, but this is like a kind of, I'll say, a sell zone. So you want the sell zone to become a buy zone. Definitely if you get volume, if you look at volume and how it goes into here, volume increasing, green, and then you could tell volume, huge red volume. You definitely want it to break through with volume. I mean, sometimes when we just sell, we just break through demand. We just break through. I'm trying. Someone doesn't have access. We'll break through with volume, like right here. Affirm. We tapped once, kind of tapped again, and then we eventually broke through. High sell volume right there. We broke through, and then when we break through, technically you delete it. What I like to do is just switch it to a line. And then, that's kind of a resistance for me then. Affirm. Go back to Affirm, had news. What was it? Right here, Affirm had news with, I guess, PayPal, Amazon, somebody. Right here had a huge push up to close. Kind of like I was watching these price balances. I lost it. It's right there. So we had that huge buy at kind of at close with the news, huge push up. We eventually came back down, market open. More buy orders were filled there, and we pushed up. So you have like your price imbalance kind of here, sideways, push up. So you're looking for that little price imbalance. Eventually we'll come back, fill that imbalance in, come back, and then hopefully when we get to this price point at about 50-50, buyers are going to come in, whales are going to come in. They bought it here, they're going to buy it again here. If they have half their orders get, purchased here, filled there, the other half are going to get filled here. We can see that push, that huge push up. See how it reacted this one right here. It didn't really like that. Stuck to a 15-minute. Sometimes I do 15, 30, 1 hour. It just depends on how it all looks. But you see how we could bounce here, came up. This previous huge sell came back up. Previous huge sell right there. Moderna. What are we doing right here? We're just bouncing between these two price balances. 1, 2, 3, 4. You can tell we finally broke above. We're kind of testing it on the upside. But since we did break it above, I will, remove it. And then try to look for the next, the next move up. We had that one. Right there. I think this was the one it broke above. So we're kind of ping-ponging back and forth here. But you can tell we broke above right here. You can tell this price balance before what we had another price balance right there. Eventually broke above. We'll look for, let's look what AMD did today. AMD, I mean, we could go down to the daily on AMD. Maybe 2 hour. Let's see what huge push was. Right here was where we, 2 hour, kind of 199. Let's check out what an hour looks like on these. Post earnings, huge push up, downside. That's kind of your price balance where, for 2 hours they agreed on price right there. Upside, we broke through that one. Meet there, but we kind of, this little tiny, where we came up, agreed on price right there, probably nice 30-minute one. Yeah, where we're just straight sideways right here. Right here. Oh, right here, my bad. You're looking for like a nice basing candle and then a huge sell. So right here, I like to do market hours because I like that because I use a higher time frame. You still get that little bit, but you're just looking for like a nice basing and a huge sell off. So you're really taking like mainly the sell off. The huge sell off. Eventually, we're gonna make our way back up here, and then kind of reject. The downside, the same thing. You're looking for a nice basing, and then a huge green. Definitely helps when we have larger, nice green moves like right here. We'll see what it looks like about. But since like the market overnight swinging has been like crazy both ways, I like to personally use extended hours because how gappy we are lately. So with AMD, I'm looking for, let's see if we bounced. If we bounced anywhere. We really didn't have any bounce on the downside. But I'm definitely looking for, I'm waiting for AMD to come down to this price. Maybe possibly 117 to see if all those buyers already got filled post earnings. Try to find a few more. Well, let's see what Facebook. Yeah, probably people buying in long. I can't do Facebook. This thing's too much. INTC. Yeah, INTC had there. Bounced a bunch. You tell right here I had one. I'll just erase it after this, but right here I had. We had a huge move down, a basing candle, huge move down. So it came back up next day, touched it, sold off again. Let's see 1 hour get this. That's a huge upper wick. Just go from the open to that red wick. So I'm waiting for INTC. If I want to short it, definitely get closer to here. See if we can possibly get up to 50s and then short it again. See if it gets rejected. We're going to have to go way back on it. I don't really use EMAs. The only thing I use EMA is a 50. Just like looking at the daily chart. See if we bounce from one of those. Yeah, see if we bounce right there. But yeah, definitely it's been challenging lately because we've gotten back to like September, October, November lows. But I mean, you could even go down to intraday, kind of intraday 5-minute ones. If I wanted to get in, if something pushes first thing, we didn't make it all the way back here, but I'd like to see it come back, get in here, and then bounce, continue up. Microsoft had a great example of this the other day, a couple of weeks ago, I think. See if I have it charted. Even 30-minute. Oh, that's not engulfing. Where is this one? I just did this the other day. I'm not gonna find it. Oh, it's right here. So we had this huge, this huge price imbalance right here. Huge buy. We had this kind of nice little push up. They agreed on price here, and then a huge push at open. So if you miss that initial push, what I like to do is wait for it to sell off, and then come back in. Comes back into the zone. Definitely watch volume on it and see if we can actually bounce off. Came in. And then this bounce right here is actually that initial push. So, I mean, Microsoft, if you want to scout Microsoft, I think I lost my spot on that one. If you wanted to scout Microsoft, you could have scalped it, going on 10 minutes. You could scalp here, scalp there. When we came in here, it's still a nice $2 move. I mean, with options close to money, you're still making pretty quality money right there. Technically, that red one right here, we came back up. If you're playing the opposite side, price and greed here, huge sell-off. We came back up, touched it right here, sold off again. What we do again, come up, sell off. Came back down, what we do again, come up, sell off. Push up. Of course, anytime Trump, or not Trump, news trumps TA, and that kind of hurt me with Bowen the other day. I even had an alert on this where we had push up, huge sell off. So I had my zone right here where I moved into a line because we broke above. Waiting for it to come back in, waiting for it to come back up. Comes back up right here. Another nice sell off, and then they had all those delivery numbers. And unfortunately, you could tell we pushed through with volume. Straight up over that. And then I'm probably waiting for it to come back in. Back down there. That was it. Boom, boom. When Boeing was hitting these 220s, pretty simple play. We just kept bouncing from the same zone every day. Let's see if it's on 1 hour. Huge push up, kind of one zone here, kind of broke below, but the main one was, where's that one? It does come break above like new, old support becomes new resistance comes old support. So we, that rejection here, boom, huge sell off. So if we get to a price and we are gonna sell, have a huge sell off, when we get to that same price, we're probably gonna have another sell off. This is the whole theory behind this. Doesn't work 100% of the time, but you're setting yourself up. You're not getting into a put down here. When you have these zones marked up, you have the best time to get into a play. You want to get into call when we're bullish coming from out of this zone. Get into a put when we're bearish coming out of that zone. We bounce back and forth, bounce back and forth. Of course, we broke through, pushed through with volume. You can tell this day, bounced. I mean, it's a pretty simple concept. You're using price action. You can tell, like right here, definitely, we're bouncing from this zone. We come back over here. What are we doing? We're selling from this zone. So this is where, liquidity is. You're going to have buys and sells. This is where they want to basically move price out of this zone. This is where they agree on it. Buyers want to push up. Sellers want to push it down. Roblox, I actually was looking at Roblox today, kind of bounced from one of the zones, but I was trying to play light today because everything seemed to be selling off after earnings. We had this 15 minute. Yeah, 15 minutes. So we had this huge push up, sideways action, push up. So we bounced, and I was almost going to take this play right here. It would have been a nice, 4% play on stocks. The options, I'd probably get 30, 40%. And then eventually broke through, kind of bounced. My old one. I not technically. I mean, I would like for it to come down because we broke through, and technically, if you break through that zone, it's kind of invalid. So what I always like to do, that's why I have lines everywhere. I like to put a line right where, where the open is. So I'm watching that price. So, but technically, I would like Roblox to come back down to here, where we had that price agreement right here. Huge push up. So if Roblox does come down here, I'm looking for a bounce like 59. I'm definitely looking for a bounce. At least 59, maybe down here at the lowest, probably all-time low. Yeah, because price broke through it. Usually it's with volume, so that means it's gonna be the price balance turns into an imbalance. I'm not gonna keep this one right here. We came in, we actually bounced, kind of broke through a little bit, wicked, bounced up. But I'm not gonna keep this one right here. But this could be actually a good, good resistance because it technically is a pivot. Like a small pivot right here. On the top side, if we do break through this one, if I do turn it into a line, it's a definitely good resistance. It's pre-market high. Previous resistance was a support here. But I don't really try to use it as a current zone. Like kind of like, where I thought we would go higher. That sell-off today, right before open, I actually, if you do zone this up, I'll actually erase all this. We have this sell-off right here. we broke through it right here. So I thought we actually had higher, but we were in like almost probably like a 2 hour, way stronger sell-off zone up here. So this one's probably going to win overall. But like, if you want to scalp, that would have been the perfect scalp. You set up sell off 9 o'clock. Right before 9 o'clock, we had this huge sell off. I'm marking that up. Wait for it to come back in here. Right there. I just did that the other day. Right here. What are we looking for? Huge sell. We're looking for these huge sell-offs. Mark this up right here. We eventually came back up, sold off, started 15 overnight session, consolidated, broke a little bit above, consolidated, and then pushed up at open. So like at open right here, this is kind of the hard part. Is at open, you're kind of in a sell zone. So, you kind of take it on the light side. If we do break above, definitely, you want it to break above that overnight session. That's how yesterday was. Yeah, that was yesterday. Got my XPX calls when we had an alert over that overnight session. That wasn't, wait, what was yesterday? The first, right here. So we're just consolidating, super tight. So that overnight sessions are nice. You got your overnight session high. We tapped it midday. We sold off at open. Let's bring it down to a smaller frame. We had overnight push up, kind of a 3 for an hour and a half. They kind of agreed on price here, and then the sell off would probably look better on a higher time frame. Yeah, so you have that huge sell off. So you're definitely looking for like kind of the top of this huge sell off, and that's when I got XPS calls where we're kind of making higher lows, and you can tell how we broke through that. I think I had it marked up as a 5-minute. So we'll find it. That's what we broke up. You can tell it right there. Little 5-minute rejection, if you're playing scalp selector right there. But this is kind of like just a resistance where there wasn't a zone. We're just chopping back and forth. And definitely pre-market high. Definitely with these swings overnight, you can tell we're pre-market low, pre-market high. Definitely helps out. Let's go through some weird. DraftKings. DraftKings already have some zones marked up. Right here. We'll stick with hour on DraftKings. And right here, we had a huge sell-off. I'm going to take this right here. Eventually, we came back up into the zone. We kind of broke above a little bit, and then we sold off again. Came back up, definitely consolidating it. We broke above. Bet you that one where we sold off at open. Is that right there. So you had this sell-off, basically a whole day sell-off. You sell us from that high to that low. That's a 9% sell-off. It doesn't seem much on the chart, but 9% sell-off. So you're just waiting for that price to come all the way back and then watch it sell off again. I used to do monthly. I mean, when the market was a lot better swinging, you could do monthly, weekly. You could break it down, but like right now, like swinging is super super hard. I used to love the weekly frame and try to find more of swings to get into. Oh, I can't do weekly, but like it's so hard with how much we're. Let's see. Let's go SPY. Let's see what SPY did. Technically the weekly right here, kind of a price balance right here, pushed up, but these zones are going to be, kind of ginormous, and they're going to overlap a lot. Technically we did bounce here, or, we were sideways for this is weeks, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, kind of 9 weeks right here. We agreed on from 414 to 425. So that's your price balance, followed by an imbalance. Came back in, kind of touched it here, shot back up. So we're looking for it to come back down again and shoot back up. The more times we do tap it, I say the weaker it becomes. You want to see how it reacts in there. If it's a wick, definitely way stronger. If we do come down in, kind of consolidate and then shoot back up, that's when it's really weak. But yeah, since swinging's swinging's not impossible, but with the overnight earnings, kind of like you're waking up with NQ's down 3%, all these gaps, kind of limit my swing, kind of trying to limit my swings. But QQQ weekly, let's see where. You don't really technically come down there all the way. I can break it down to daily. Price balance there, push up. But definitely on daily, weekly, you're not going to have those really strong sell-offs like this. Maybe probably, let's see how that apple right here. So you got a sell-off, balance, sell-off. So let's see how he reacted right there. Came up, rejected overnight, pushed up. So can't do much about rejections overnight. I like to stick it to the hour, kind of like 30-minute, 15-minute. Tesla, you could drop it down to like 5-minute, 3-minute, and just watch. We'll just stick with 10-minute for sake. I wanted, people were telling me they want to get in swing puts, and I was like, wait for it to actually reject this zone where, price right here, huge sell off, and a low balance. You could tell previously too, like how it kind of was a support zone. And I was like, actually wait for it to come back up here, swing puts. That would be your best entry, best price to get into. But never actually did come up. They're both risky. You could tell what we were up. We're swinging like 3% daily. Overall, like NQ's down, over 3.5% from the highs today. So definitely, if any long-term calls, any leaps you got into, just in that overnight swing, I mean, it got destroyed. Not destroyed, but I mean, if you're in a leap, it's not that bad. But you just got to know the direction the market's going. Swinging is always risky. When we did find this bottom here, you're swinging up here, but hopefully you already took profits, especially going into earnings, especially with Amazon. Amazon could swing the market. QQQ could be down here, and Q could be down here if Amazon misses and gives horrible guidance. If it does. But just swinging either way. Selling off faster. There's way more selling. You profit better selling off than actually swinging calls. But daily, I'd love for it to come back up here. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So yeah, you have Nessie, right? Nessie. So Nessie, what I like to use is I always check the hour. So we'll go on ES because I usually watch ES most. So I like to check the hour. You tell, with swings, right there would have been your best entry. I just like to see where previous prices are with the hourly. Then I prefer 10 and 2. And some stocks I do drop down to the 1 minute. We can tell, let's just go to 2 minute on ES today. My zone, technically, Nessie's in the middle of it. If I had my zone, my sell zone, 10 minute, I had it earlier. Yeah, I mean, it's just liquidity. This is where liquidity is. Definitely turning on a firm the other day. We had where I showed you guys. Hopefully, Nessie's been updated, so hopefully it's the same. No, there's that right there. It's a 10 minute. The gray line is just a bounce zone, so if technically, if price is under it, that's kind of like your stop loss bounce. You can tell how we broke below, but we're bouncing off this. We're bouncing off this, so this is technically like the absolute bottom logo. I really don't use it that much. I wish I had a really better answer to it. Both. It reads the candles like crazy. It's just showing liquidity zones. This is where either a big buy, just exchange of shares. So it's like the same thing I was saying. When we're coming back here, exchange of shares are going to happen again at this area. We bounced there. We're coming back. We bounced right on that firm right there. SPY. SPY's nice, rendered up right here. It's showing something happened right here. What is that? What is that? Dark pool. Probably a good sell dark pool right there. And look at that sell off. This with Nessie, this is your, you're trying to find the best, highest probability trade to get into using that. And if you use the omni bands, go back to the larger time frame. Yeah, I find the variance of 4 is the best, but I'll actually show you what variance of 4 does, because it pretty much nailed Apple and AMD. You can tell we're in the red bands, 2-minute red bands on SPY. You can tell how we broke below and kind of used this right here, the first red band, as a resistance right there. So when it rendered up and price got below it and we're in the red bands, that's a pretty good solid short. Of course, it's pre-market, you really can't do anything. But that's just showing you how that does. The variance of 4, I'll show you what I do with this. So 1 hour AMD. So AMD earnings. I'll turn it off. Yeah, because it gives you more data. Why does that look so weird? But right here, because I have it rewinded. So right here we had, you could tell this variance definitely used as a support, broke down, or that was a resistance right here. So I'm saying what I said with AMD is like, if on earnings, we could either go to here, like 129, or if it misses, we'll drop down back to the 99 and probably shares would be bought long term. Where'd we go? We went up. So could it hold that variance? So we came back down. So possibly we could go back down to right here, 99. This is the VWAP right here. And then you got the time anchored VWAP. So what you really want to do is, you can tell how that's used as a resistance. So the best time to get into it is coming from the green and crossing that. So best time to get AMD on the 1 hour right here would have been right here when we crossed over that VWAP. And that was the move. I don't use variance much. I like to use a different method, but you can tell there, Apple, I think I predicted Apple on the 1 hour variance too. No, it was a smaller variance. But earnings were here. I was like, we could either go up to 169 or we could drop to 150. We decided to go to the middle. You can tell how it's definitely used as a hard resistance. You chop through it. I mean, technically, you could use these as zones right here. I like to use the larger time frame. And this kind of helps with swings. You want to look for stocks that are kind of in these green bands to actually push up, and play it to the median right here, this mean. You could kind of leave a runner here and push all the way up. When you get into lower time frames, you could tell intraday, look down here, look for a bounce, right all the way up to here. Intraday, even you could even use these intraday, turn on Nessie to help you even that much. Coming from the green zone over Nessie, right it to where the red zone is. Yeah, this is 1 minute. I mean, you can use any time frame. It's best to cycle through time frames and try to find how many time frames are kind of like, Nessie right here on the 2 minutes keeping Apple down. But you can tell when we go to the 1 minute, it's underneath. So you could go to Omnitech Analysis, kind of at the top, and purchase it. But we all use it. Join VC. We're all using VC. But this is just mean reversion. You have a high chance of the stock when it's in the green to go back to the mean. A high chance from the red to go back to the mean. You can flip on daily. What I saw, I think it was SPY, 24-hour. What are your best? If you want to swing SPY, what's the best time to get in the SPY? The swing puts. Yeah, swing puts when SPY's up here. Swing calls when SPY's down here. Of course, you do have things like this where we just keep selling off. But what I really want to watch is definitely watch this TWAP. See how the bands are going down at the bottom. You kind of want them to even out. So we started evening out here. We crossed that TWAP, broke out of that first band, and that would have been a nice entry right there. But definitely that sell-off, I dropped down to many different time frames and see where this best interest was on that sell-off, which kind of really wasn't. The sell-off was boring, but I mean, here's this 2-hour in the green. We're waiting for this time anchored VWAP. Your best time to get into it is when we broke above outside that green. And it definitely helps not going weeklies with this. Give yourself some time. Unfortunately, there are stocks that just don't care about the bands. They just, since Snap's last earnings, it just keeps going down. This is really a hard time. ES, I like to throw on the 1 minute current time. And you could even get little tiny scalps up and down, up and down. This is definitely hard. You can tell we're 14, 12, 2. We started squeezing at 2. So that's when I was expecting the big move up. I saw the band squeezing a little bit. I expect a big move up. We just had a big move up, and then we just dropped. But yeah, definitely have that on with Nessie. I mean, you have the keys to succeed. Throw on Tesla. I mean, just do different time frames with Tesla. Like this thing's like a. I mean, I love playing Friday Teslas with these. Like, where's the sells on Tesla? Right here. I mean, that's a pretty solid. If you saw it sell a 4% move on Tesla, that's like 200%. Yeah, definitely. Tesla, because it's cheaper. Mondays, this short could be short lived, but definitely go through like previous liquidity, previous renders too. And you can tell where did we bounce today in that that previous render. But there was, but the newest version he got rid of that. It'll come out in a later version with different color meanings, but it kind of takes away the purpose of of the rendering and the magic line. So he has it now where technically you could change. I actually like gold, but you could change whatever color you want. But the main thing is like when we rendered up right here, something happened. There's exchange, probably a dark pool, huge exchange of shares. Liquidity is right here. Came up, double tapped it, sold off, came up almost to it again, and sold off again. It's taking forever to load. AMD was held down by it yesterday, broke above. Not the best today. But I like to use 2 minute. When I have mine set up, I have it set up like this. This is how I set mine up. So if we're watching, let's see what watched Google today. Let's see what Google did. So I like 2 minute Nessie. And look at that Google. Over here, I like to do 10 minute Nessie and the bands. Price action, you should always go into every trade with an exit plan. Well, that's not the right one. Best thing is to do is scale out. You could use previous renders to definitely, yeah, right there. I mean, be like, okay, we rendered here. Let's see, we pushed to open, sold off there. I'm probably going to take the sell there. That right there is, I mean, 2% on Google. That's probably a good, maybe 60% win. I mean, that's no complaint. Like, you didn't have to chart anything. You drew one line. But this is how I set it up. I put all. So when I'm watching just one ticker, I have the 2 minute, the 10 minute here, and then the hour here. So, with Google's huge push up red, we were in the red here. So, I mean, technically, there's the best chance to sell off, we would sell off there. Just turn the drones off. Facebook today, Facebook was on the 10 minute. Rendered was above. I'm going to turn it to make it a little easier, but turn just the variance on this one. So you can tell these dark pools are exchanges of, their buys or sells. You tell it, it shot up, noting the dark pool, liquidity. From there we sold off. 2 minute really wasn't the best today. We had a little bounce here, little bounce off that one right there. But the lower time frame, you definitely want to go, quicker in and out. Especially, you see this variance where you rejected the variance too, the mean variance. Apple, you just use one time frame from now on. Apple, you just step back, put them on certain time frames and just step back and look where, we consolidated here, so there's definitely a accumulation distribution of shares right here, and then we bounce off of it, same thing. So there's definitely something going on right here about this price point at 172, 173 on Apple, where we consolidate and then we push, consolidate, we push, we come back, we consolidate, we push again. If I'm watching this, I'm definitely watching Apple come back down here. But yeah, definitely use different time frames. Sometimes I like to throw on the hour. And just watch how, the hour previous vendors are. Drop down to, you can do 15, whatever time frame works best for you in the way you trade. But you see right there, 10-minute was holding us down, and eventually we actually broke through Nessie right there. Came up. I think SPY was a sell. What day was that? Yeah, SPY was a sell today. I've been liking 5-minute lately. Yeah, you could tell yesterday. Yesterday, good sell on SPY at open. Just back test it. I mean, you have it. Back test it. Go through charts. Try to find, the best thing. There's a day me and AI were going back and forth where something happened here. We sold off and then we pushed up like that. That happened on a lot of charts yesterday. Where, they probably a lot of buy in there. Just happened to sell off. Push back up. But definitely this 5-minute, you could tell where your best buys and best sells are, which is pretty cool. I mean, does the work for you. I like this. Sometimes I don't even have to. Microsoft's been above it for a while. Sometimes I don't have to, stay up late night charting. Just come in tomorrow and be like, I'm just playing SPY Nessie. That's all I'm gonna play. Friday, all I'm playing is Tesla Nessie's renders. I'm like, oh wait, Nessie's at open. I'm taking a short. Take a short. I mean, just find out what works best for you. Yeah, the main thing is I like 2 or 5. Lately, 10 minutes been kind of tough to watch, because I'll watch it during the market. 10 minutes been tough, especially with chop. The 10-minute time frame has been definitely hard to watch. Just because it's just choppy and it's just boring, so I've been dropping down to 5 and 2-minute. But I know some people use 3 minutes, some people use minute. The creator uses 30 seconds and 10 seconds. But yeah, I mean, here in Netflix, we rendered down. You kind of want to watch price around this zone, around here. And when we started breaking away, volume increasing was definitely where you want to get in your short. The purple's the Magic Line, the main one. I think he was saying when the it's a bounce. Yeah, yeah, you're gonna bounce. Like it used to be, like right here would be my stop loss. This line, but this one seems to move more. Seems to move more with the price. This one's kind of just a straight across. Not 100% sure. I'll definitely try to get a better answer on that. But it definitely moves with the price a little bit better. Actually, pretty nice. But the purple is definitely your go-to. CRM, like, yeah, I think Amazon or right here. A lot of things are rendering down. Facebook, I think, rendered down. Um, yeah, I think it rendered down, which is probably just it's being weird with the wicks, but it's probably just people picking up long-term shares down here. Um, I have to read Facebook's their earnings report. PayPal, no on PayPal. PayPal, their guidance was horrible. Uh, Investors want to invest into the future. Definitely watch Snapchat and Pins and how they react to their new user numbers. Um, Snap's been missing. This is like the third time they've missed, and they're just they're going down, which is probably why they're down a lot today because PayPal is their numbers are hurting. But I mean, Snap's been missing. They beat that one. Beat that one. Their last one they missed. I thought they missed there, but Pins definitely missing. Pins is struggling. They missed. They missed again here. If you would have read Peloton's earnings, like you would have been like, yeah, they guided horribly. Shot down. Um, Especially with PayPal, there's so much more, uh, you know, charging out there. There's Cash App, Zelle, all that. The competition's tough. Uh, who just recently said that? Oh, Netflix. Netflix, they missed. Their new subscribers. Huge miss. That's what investors are looking for. They said the competition out there. You could get CBS, you could get TNT, you could subscribe to those individually. I mean, that's what you want to look for. Yeah, Nessie found it. The older version was way better with finding Netflix, but yeah, right there where we finally flattened out. My main thing is I like to double tap. I like to have it come back, double tap. That's where I'm gonna find the safest entry. Let me try to find some other. Yeah, I think the update should be about done. We just kept finding some price differences and difference on different charts. Let me see where this one was. Like I kind of take pictures of all the good ones. The 26th. See, this is like right here rendered up, sold off, kind of like, you're waiting for, just like the class I just taught. You're waiting for it to come back up. Look at that huge sell. I mean, you would have gotten the video there. I mean, be eating steak for dinner. 10-point move to the downside. You want to look at previous renders on where our more other liquidity. You can just tell how the previous renders act too. Bounced there, kind of consolidated on there, came back down. So definitely, if I had a short if I would have noticed a short here, I would have scaled up, just kind of leave one runner here, and then let it go down to that bottom one. But it's pretty solid. You can tell how it kind of comes back up, breaks above, kind of uses the support, another bounce, and then shot up with whose earnings last night, and you can tell it was rendered up. Definitely looking for a sell-off. Definitely the most recent is going to be your most recent price action, but I like to use that based on kind of exits. I wish I had. I'm trying to find older pictures, but let's look at Neo. Here's one of my, zones I had, came back up, broke through it. What time frame was that? I thought I saw one that was in there, right there. You can tell it right there. Liquidity zone, right in my zone. I almost actually got a call. Came down, call. But yeah, right here, I mean, you. Yeah, mostly exits. I mean, you can look at this. I mean, if we come down and do bounce, yeah, I mean, you could look into it. Because it's a previous liquidity zone, you're still going to have. Facebook's been not the best looking chart. Let's go. DraftKings was. This zone right here, kind of, it's technically used as a support sometimes right here. If we do go back, I could chart, all these zones. Where was your high? This previous one where we had a huge sell-off. If you want to go up to the 1 hour, see how this looks. 1 hour, you could chart all these zones, change colors, will do what you got to do. But those would be my PTs. That's how I personally use it. You could always use it however you want. I know some people who take shorts when it does bounce right off of it, and they take quick shorts. Tesla really works well with kind of 2 minute, 1 minute, 10 minute. Where was, we did break above here, but you can tell how when we broke below, that was a great short, came back up. like I was showing, this rendered twice at this price point, 885, 886. So that's definitely a price you want to look at on Tesla going forward. 1, 2, here's another one, 3, 4. We keep running at this price point. So someone's buying big here, someone's selling big here. This price right here, where does, you go all the way across, that's your liquidity area right there. That makes sense? Because whales they only buy based on the price. They're gonna buy, they have a, if if a whale is buying something, they have, they're like, I'm buying Tesla at 831. They'll sit here for months with an open order. When that price comes down here, they have enough liquidity, enough power to actually make this stock move up. So someone's sitting here at, 944, 945, right here and just selling. Every time it comes up, they're going to sell. Every time it comes up, they're going to sell. And they just keep selling it. That's what you got to look back. They're using price. They're not using, MACD and all this other stuff and MAs and EMAs and all that. They're basically buying because this price of Tesla is 831. And they already have open order. I think Berkshire B was, no, that SpyWick. There was like a huge SpyWick the other day where people were saying someone already put an open order in, a whale put an open order at like 420. And it accidentally rendered. Like it wicked all the way down. So they were just sitting in, you could tell they're already going to have the price here. They're able to push that price back up. Yeah, I think our swim had it. And people are saying that it was just a whale putting in a buy order at that low price. And they're going to probably sit on it for months, years, who knows. They have enough capital to do that. So, Tesla, tomorrow I'm watching Tesla right here, 864. And I doubt it goes down to this far. But, right there, those are our price points for Tesla. So 2 minute looks any different. 2 minute pretty much matches up for 10 minute. But that's the best way to use Nessie. Definitely use the bands to help you out. Trying to help out with buys and sells, like we're in the red bands. Oh, that's right. Cool. Up here we rendered up in the red bands. We're probably most likely it's going to be a sell. Rendered up in the red bands right here. We rendered down, green bands, we're still rendering down right here. Eventually we got a nice render down here in the green bands. We're able to push it back up. If you do buy here options, you have a long enough one, like months out, that little fall there with a nice average down, you still make money when you get up here. Playing weeklies and 0 days definitely. Nessie, you gotta look for those little quick rejections or quick bounces. Try to figure out like what's gonna happen when the price hits this based on previous render. But that's the best way to use it. You could set up alerts with the newest version where price comes to a certain percent of Nessie, you'll be alerted and you could be like, oh, Facebook, it rendered. I'm gonna hop over to Facebook. Oh wait, we rendered right here. I'm gonna look to short it. Yeah, Facebook's not gonna touch that for a while. Yeah, go through different time frames. I mean, that's really not showing anything. I've been like in the 30-minute. I was a big fan on the hour, but I think the 30-minute is a little bit better lately. Yeah, more with liquidity stocks. I mean, Tesla. Sometimes Tesla's 1 minute, sometimes Tesla's 2 minutes. You definitely want to have all of them, cycle through. But I mean, 1 minute, 1 minute, 2 minutes seem about the same. But yeah, 1 minute right here. We came back up, selling, rendered down, and then another sell. So you can tell, like right here, this area right here, we're just getting sells. Let's see what happens when we come back up here. 944, 940. We haven't been above it in a while. A couple days. Guess it's a while. But that's, yeah. Some don't really work well with it, but I mean, it really helps with not charting. I have 2 kids. You can tell how simple my charts are. Like, Amazon, like, this was huge accumulation right here. Every time Amazon came down here, someone was buying it up. And then look at that move. They made that move. And they probably sold it up here. Yeah, sometimes it's like stair stepping like this. Yeah, you want it to flatten out. I'm surprised he got rid of the mean. He used to have this mean, which was a really nice, it would curve up. It kind of looked like this. It come from this line and got curve up like this. And that would, yeah, like the older versions have it, and that was a really nice entry where it broke below and it kind of came back and would hug it and then just drop. But yeah, I'm gonna ask him about that one. But yeah, when we're stair stepping, like right here, kind of stay away. You kind of want it to flatten out, especially when we sold off. Like there's sometimes I'm like, yeah, Nessie's not working today. Because we were just, when we had that heavy sell off. It's really, really. You think it's rendering down, to get in, but you're really not. That's when you have to hop through different time frames and figure out which one is the best one to choose. Why is it not coming up? Oh, I lost all my indicators. Like right here, render. We keep stair stepping down. But once we finally, phase out, you can see that nice. What I look for is a nice double bottom, double tap on it. Nice shoot up. Came back, use this as kind of, that's your low. Rendered up, kind of watch a short, rendered down. And once we're stair stepping up like this, we're kind of in a bullish move right now. Keep stair stepping up. So you want to see, here's what we were looking at yesterday. We had something interesting happen here, curved down, and we shot up. ZOM was like that. I saw some people get like 150% on ZOM, XOM. where we had that, probably that initial buy-in right here. And then just the market sold off and a huge push up. Rendered up. Kind of sideways today. But I'm going to go ahead and conclude this. Is way past, but appreciate you guys' time. Yeah, no problem. Hope you guys learned something. Definitely. Yeah, guys have any questions about Nessie? Ask away. I mean, there's so many people that in this Discord that use it. There's no reason not to know how to use it. But y'all have a good night.